Here we are. Here we are. Here we are. Exciting, exciting, exciting. Where the hell is the money? Trustees of Dalton, Mayor of Dalton. Where's the money? Francois, Wyoming, I hope you're having a safe trip home. Hopefully. But we are with you. So, let me see. I got a comment that I talk too much on my lives. So I'm going to try not to do that. Okay. I'm just going to try to put up facts and then we can, kind of go over stuff. So I do take, Karen, welcome. I do take comments seriously. And unfortunately, one person in Strand, you're a jackass. I gave you grace and you tried to turn it around. And guess what you did? You emailed me. So, law enforcement will take care of you. I don't sue people. I just don't. So, toodaloos, Instagram. I hope you have the best people to put money on your books. Okay? Alrighty. So, what do we want to start with? I want to start with the first financial meeting that was held as Henyard came in. Big Mike, it is so good to see you. I keep forgetting I can put those things up there. I'm getting old. Remember, everybody said that there was a surplus, right, for the village when Henyard came in. Let's listen to that first financial meeting, shall we? I had this video uploaded and ready to go for Sunday.
Yeah,
however, I received an email.
Yes, you're ready to go.
Ready to go. Thank you very much. So with everybody here, we're going to call the meeting to order. The time I have is 5:36 p.m. on Wednesday, May 26th. I'll start with a roll call of the Finance Committee members. So I'll start Trustee Brown.
So
Present.
Trustee Steve.
Those items out. Am I talking over this? Why am I talking over this? Let me see. Everything else is shut off, right? Make sure. Sorry about that. Hold on. We are going to shut everything off. Okay. All right. The sound of the video is too high. Uh-oh. Well, turn down your volume.
Yep. Trustee Steve.
Clip. Yep. That's me. So, unfortunately, I have to go back and share a screen. Doggone it. I don't know why I'm talking over that. Weird. I put it through the filter. Just bear with me one moment, please. We will have it up momentarily. Sorry about that. Okay. Where's it? Catch it. Can't believe it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have to share the screen on it because I don't know why I'm talking over it. Spag, welcome. Cynthia, so good to see you. So, for some reason, I was talking over that video and I have no idea why. So, let me square that screen. This is the first financial meeting as Henyard was coming in, dated May 26th of 2021. So, let's hear about this. Welcome, Benny. Good to hear you. hear from you.
Okay, are we live and good to go, Mr. Blocker?
We are live. Yes, you're ready to go.
Ready to go. Thank you very much. So with everybody here, we're going to call the meeting to order. The time I have is 5:36 p.m. on Wednesday, May 26th. I'll start with a roll call of the Finance Committee members. So I'll start Trustee Brown.
Present.
Trustee Steve. Yep. Trustee Steve. Hey, I know he was. Okay, I see you. Look, I think you may have some audio issues, but Trustee Steve Mark present, and Trustee House is also present. We have 3 members. A quorum is present. Start off with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Trustee Steve, don't you know that you should not be driving while on a live stream on a finance committee? Ugh.
Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Missing everybody, and I'm so
sorry, but I don't play the Pledge of Allegiance or prayer on any of their meetings. Yeah, you think so? You're on camera doing this. We have Virginia in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, here we go. First financial meeting after Henyard gets in.
So happy to have this great group of Finance Committee members back together. So we're happy to move forward. It's been a few months. We're gonna go into our old business. We'll continue with the same agenda. As we move forward into a future months, we'll look at ways to enhance things, but I definitely think it's important that we continue remaining consistent with knowing where we're at financially on the issues that we've had in the past, and we'll be enhancing as time comes up. So any ideas or suggestions from any board member as well is very, very welcome. So as we go into our monthly financial report, I want to mark that we're looking at our monthly financials for the month of April 2021. April has significance because it is the last month of our fiscal year. So all of the budgets that we did have for fiscal year 2021 have been completed. These numbers will be close to our year-end numbers for the year on how we did. There will be within the next 2 months adjustments made for accruals of expenses that may not have come in that have incurred throughout the year. So by the time we get to July, we will have our final numbers, and those numbers are what we want to compare with our audit to make sure that we've had clean records. But these numbers do hold significance, and then as we move into May, we'll be starting the first month of our new fiscal year. With that being said, we always start off with our general fund, and the general fund on the packet that was presented, and also should have been on the website as well. If we're looking at, if you printed the packet out, it would be page 15 on the printed version and page 18 on our digital version. And looking at those numbers, it would show that for the month of April, we had a surplus before our financing operations, and finance being bonds and other things that we've taken out over time. Surplus for that month was $779,566. With a fiscal year surplus of $3,937,765. After we take into consideration the financing that we've done, and financing again being the bonds and other long-term debt that we have, the monthly balance would be a negative $1.8 million, but that's reflective of including all of our financing options and our.
Did he just say a negative balance? Wait.
Would be a negative $1.8 million, but that's reflective of including all of our financing options. And our fiscal year number would be a surplus of $2,150,725. So fiscally, that surplus would mean that there's been, of course, we did not achieve the revenue numbers that we expected, but our expenses also had been managed at a rate that were better than scheduled, which allowed for a surplus. So I'm going to elaborate a little bit on my understanding of it, and then I'll ask our finance guy, Chris, to weigh in as well from what he's seeing, because he is our eyes and ears at the village every day. And then I'll open it up for committee members to have comment, and then our other board members, because we're grateful to have our trustee, I'm used to saying trustee-elect, our trustee, Kiana Belcher, on the line. So we want to make sure everybody gives their input. So my understanding of our surplus, 2.2 million, which of course means that we have been doing really well, but we want to make sure that if there are surpluses, we're committing that money into the village and making sure that we're improving the roads and making sure we have all the hires we need. Some of the surplus we got was $750,000 as a result of COVID relief grant funds that our administration had applied for and received, as well as $1.3 million worth of savings because we did not fill all positions within our budget. So it's a good thing that we managed efficiently when we look at our service levels in terms of ways that we can improve public works, our fire department, police department. It is very important that we have that staffed. So as a board, I think we want to take a look at these are the things we have to do, or this will be the staffing levels if we wanted to continue to operate in a surplus mode or to use funds for different things, or is our money best spent by hiring more people? So I kind of want to throw that out there for consideration. Chris, if you have thoughts that you can elaborate on in terms of the surplus and way and how you see it, or things that we've done well and things and areas that you would think are concerns, please do so at this time.
So a few areas that to me are of a little bit of concern. So on page 10, if you're looking at electronically, and page 7, if you're looking at it as a hard copy, our property taxes that we have received in fiscal 20, which would have been April 30th, 2020, we received 5.3 million in real estate taxes. Those are the monies, those are your main revenue stream to fund general operations. As of April 30th, 2021, the real estate taxes that we have received are 4.4 million. So almost a $900,000 decrease in your main revenue stream. That is going to create a problem both on a cash flow standpoint and on a future surpluses. Because if our main revenue streams are going down, that is going to hurt. The other aspect is City of Chicago. Last year, we had 1.2 million that we received from City of Chicago. This year, $1 million, meaning that our bond payment that we have to make in December, we are going to be short, and we're going to have to fund it either with general operation monies or water operation monies, depending on where we have surpluses. But if our collections for City of Chicago and real estate taxes as a whole go down, those revenue streams are your main revenues. When you start losing those, you have to make it up somewhere. And that's either decreasing expenses or maximizing revenues. Now, some other areas where we have a lot more revenue this year than last year. So page 11 electronically and 8 hard copy. If we look at our red light revenue, last year we only had 861,000. This year it's 1.4 million. Now, part of the reason for that large change is last year we were paying off the amounts that we owed our vendor for that. So we don't know, because there was changing legislation at the state level in relation to red light revenues. So we don't know where that revenue is going to be next year, how that will flow through moving forward. So that is we did a nice increase compared to last year, but we don't know if that's going to be consistent due to the fact of we don't know what the changing legislation is going to have an impact on, how it will affect what our revenues are going to be. One more item, and this we haven't had any confirmation yet, but the governor did release notice that they may be decreasing all municipalities' share of state income tax, meaning that what we would get in state income tax, which is the previous page, we received this year 2.6 million before accruals. But if the governor decreases our share, which would be decreasing everyone's share, that amount of money will go down, meaning that we're going to get less state income tax, which means less revenues. So are there any questions on the revenues before I move to expenses?
I have no questions. Any committee or board member have questions?
One question, is there anything you think we can do on our part? Any suggestions that you think we can do?
So I think one of the items we need to work on is making sure we maximize as much of our various revenues as possible, whether that's code enforcement, property taxes, etc. We just want to try to maximize collection of as much of those revenues as possible. So that way we can at least make sure that we are getting what we're billed. So if we bill $100, we at least make sure we get that full $100.
Exactly. Did we ever come up with, I know we were talking about it some time ago with the delinquent water bills. Did we ever decide, was it going into collection? Did it ever go into collection? If so, how are we doing on that?
So as far as I'm aware, they were sending some monies to collections. I do not know what was sent or how much, but I can look into it.
Okay, can you?
But in regards to those monies, those will probably, since those are for utility bills, those won't be reflected as revenue, more just as cash received, because it will offset whatever receivable balance we currently have.
Okay.
So it won't show as an effect of a revenue standpoint, but it will show up as an effect from a cash flow standpoint.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Chris.
Okay. And if I can, one other thing on that too. I mean, Chris, if you're able to, because we do have new management within the water department. So some of the things that we may have spoken about previously, they may not be aware of. So Chris, if you don't mind, community, just kind of bringing them up to speed. I'm not, and that's not to say that you haven't, but just so that as we move forward, we're building a strong foundation. Okay, Trustee Belcher, did you have any question? Okay, Trustee Steve.
No, not at this time, thank you.
No, not at this time.
Okay, and then two other items that I kind of will, I guess I will throw in, well, a few of them. One is that I think a lot of the benefit is that, and I don't want to call it a benefit, but a lot of our budget, we budgeted for positions that didn't get filled. So from a money standpoint, that was beneficial to us. From a service standpoint, it could have impacted our service times. And I think all of our teams have done the best that they can previously, and they always will with the staff that they have. But in order for us to provide the service levels that I believe the community wants, we want to fill everything that's within the budget. And as we put our next budget out there, I'm going under the assumption it will be a balanced budget, and we will be planning on filling all positions. So that will not leave much wiggle room outside of the budget for other items. Additionally, the $750,000 COVID relief was a one-time thing, so that's not stuff we can bank on. And all of our contracts, our union contracts are up for renewal, which will also likely mean increases for each one of those departments. So I think we are appreciative and grateful that I think we're on a consistent financial footing. But as we work to pay down our long-term debts, we still will have some challenges ahead of us. And I think we want to make sure that we're cognizant of it, efficient with the money that we do spend. And one way and another thing that I know our mayor is looking at is other sources of revenue and other collaborative efforts that we can get in. But we really have to find more innovative ways of raising revenue to make sure that as these fees, as things go up, we know cost of living increases affect everybody. And we want to make sure that we're able to manage that.
So I do want to emphasize a few items on that. I'm sorry, Trustee, go ahead.
We did have an increase from the city of Chicago, correct?
Yes, City of Chicago did increase their water rates to the village. I think it was over 1%. I think 1.1%.
Right.
How does that impacted? Did that automatically get passed on to the residents? How did that work?
So per ordinance, any increase by City of Chicago automatically gets passed down through to non-residential users for whatever the increase by Chicago is.
Okay. And
So
do you
in
have
regards,
the amount,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
do you have the amount that we made off gaming machines in the last budget?
Video gaming revenues. Give me 1 second.
That was down, wasn't it, Chris?
Yes. So we budgeted about $238,000 for gaming revenues. We received $242,000, which was a $4,000 decrease. Excuse me, a $6,000 decrease compared to the prior year. Now, there is going to be a change in the $241,000 due to the accruals. So that will be probably smaller once we incorporate the accruals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, speaking of expenditures, so the village in last fiscal year agreed the lieutenants and sergeants union contract, which was out of contract for almost 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
That only covers, I believe, 10 to 12 employees, which equated to about $200,000 of back pay for 10 employees. So if we follow the same expansion for the other unions that have been out of contract for multiple years, that can get extremely large and into how much the village will have to pay for back pay. So we need to start planning now as to how we are going to fund that down the line. Payroll for the police department, last year we lost 6 officers who had an average years of service of over 10 years. And we replaced them with those with less time, which is why a new officer costs less than those with more experience.
Now, what about the fire department? I know that we have X amount of dollars that went to overtime. Are we going to hire or are we going to continue to overtime? Because we're paying X amount of dollars in overtime. If we do the hiring, I'm sure that would bring that cost down.
Well, in the fire department, part of their contract is that for overtime is they require a minimum staffing level of certain rank positions. So as we hire additional firefighters, we also have to promote to those higher level positions. But that requires those individuals to pass the requirements to become to that position.
Okay.
So hiring additional firefighters, yes, will hopefully decrease overtime so long as the people who are currently on payroll are promoted to those higher ranking positions.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
May I ask a question?
Of course.
So with the back pay of the lieutenants and sergeants, and then you said we have to think about funding the other ones. How far are we behind on the bargaining for the fire department and the police department? Or is Public Works behind also?
All union contracts expired as of April 30th, 2021.
Okay, so were we behind on any, or are we just a month behind now for 2021?
So the records clerk and the Public Works records clerk, and I think that one's, yep, those two, those just expired this as of April. All the other ones are at least multi-year behind, expired. So the patrol, that expired in April of 20. Fire expired in April of 20, and then lieutenants and sergeants expired April of 20 as well.
Do we normally pay them out around like at one time, or is it stagnated? I guess that's my question.
Usually it's once the final contract is signed, and then it takes some time to get all of the documentation to calculate how much each individual is entitled to.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for that, Trustee. And if I can ask Chris, just for clarification, the ones that are behind, I'm assuming that those are in negotiation, but I just want to make sure that we are at least having the conversation so we can try to reach a conclusion on there.
I believe they reached out. Some of them we were in discussions, and I think they're going to be circling back. Most of, at least the ones or two that I was involved in, they had stopped the negotiation process just due to the fact of the election, and they didn't want to negotiate with an outgoing administration.
Okay.
So my anticipation is that they're all going to be soon running, starting the process of negotiation with the village.
Okay. If I can ask of you what I'll do on subsequent finance committee meeting, I'll just add that as a agenda item just so we can kind of keep track that progress is being made. And if there's anything that the committee or any board member can do, of course, we're available to assist.
Okay.
Okay. Did that conclude your
I got two more items I just want to add.
Okay.
So in Public Works, we've had quite a few capital improvements across the village. Public Works, Police Department, those all had vehicles in fiscal 20 that were purchased. This year we did not purchase as many vehicles, so that is part of the reason why expenses are lower than the previous year. But just from what I've heard anecdotally from various departments, they are in need of vehicles and equipment for their operations. So those are additional items that, based upon from what I'm being told from various departments, that are in need.
Yes, very much so.
I think that's everything I had in regards to the general fund.
Okay, thank you for that. Trustee Steve, did you have any questions?
No, I just agreeing with Chris. I went over Public Works today and I talked to the superintendent. He definitely pointed out to me the need for some big purchases for equipment. So like I said, it doesn't have to be purchased. It could be leased, be financed, but there's some need there for some big line item or big equipment needed.
Okay.
So I just want us to be mindful of that once we do this budget, that's needed over there.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. So we're going to just continuing with the monthly financial of the other department that we like to make sure that we're monitoring or tracking is the water department. And the water department on our financials, if you're looking at it digitally, is page 21. If you've printed it out, it's page 18, which show that through April, there was a monthly deficit of $4,247. Our fiscal year, we had a surplus of $344,407. So it would look as if we did well enough to hold our own on the water department. And we want to make sure, of course, that we maintain that. I think that department also had some shortage in terms of staffing, which would attribute to a surplus. So at full staffing, we definitely want to make sure that we are getting the appropriate water revenue and collecting it to make sure that we meet that. But again, I'll kind of turn it over to Chris for comment and then the board for question.
So the first item I want to talk about is the year-to-date operating surplus. This does not include the April accruals for City of Chicago, which is around $280,000, which automatically knocks down a large portion of the operating surplus that was on the books. That's just City of Chicago. It doesn't include all of the other services that occurred in March, April that haven't been yet reported on these financials.
All right, now, Chris, just because I want to hear something, I want you to give me something positive right now.
I will. We should have an increase in the sense of the revenue because we also have accruals for revenues. So that should also reflect an increase. So it may decrease some of that affect the City of Chicago as an offset.
Okay. And one thing I think that we want to make sure that we're looking at as a committee and as a board, because we're talking about the accruals, which are expenses that have not quite been sent to us. As we come into likely July, we probably should revisit April's financials to see what impact the accrued expenses and revenue have had on these numbers for the end of our fiscal year.
One other item, and I'm sorry, this is the one's a little bit on the negative note.
Mm-hmm.
So the following, we've billed less revenue this year compared to the last year. But if you go back 2 pages, you will notice that our receivables, so page 19 electronic and page 16 hard copy, you will notice that our receivables went from 4.3 million to almost 4.6, which means that we have less revenue, but we also have less collections, meaning that the village as a whole is billing less, but we're also collecting less.
If I can ask, what things would have us billing less? And I'm saying that we have more, over the last year, more people were at home. So I would imagine more water would have been used. So could you kind of theorize with me on what would cause that?
So my biggest is your largest water users are not going to be the village residents. They're probably going to be your businesses. And with a lot of businesses shut down, that water usage is what went down, which also they're at a higher rate, which also impacts the lower revenues.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions, committee or board?
So this less billing is reflected due to possibly COVID and the shutdown, but once these numbers come back, I guess he said revisited in July for what. So we should start seeing a more stable, like getting back to, because even that we're still not at 100% where things are completely open. That first half of the year or first half of this year, things are still not back the same. So we won't probably see stability to what 2023, because it wouldn't be 2022, correct?
I'm going to be optimistic just because I'd rather give good news than bad. I'm hoping by the end of 2022 we'll have more stable revenue streams with that. Just because I'm trying to be a little hopeful if they're giving all not great news. So I'm going to try to be hopeful.
I understand. I'll take your hopefulness. I'm just trying to be concrete with a little bit to see, why the less billing versus the, what was going on in the world, I guess. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions, committee or board? Okay, hearing none, we're going to transition to our next item on the agenda, which is our bond payment. This we keep on our agenda because, as we may recall, some years ago we unfortunately missed our bond payments. We always want to make sure that we're on track for that. The payments for our bond come as part of our collection of our property tax revenue. So that money, as it comes in, our finance department, our team, Chris, does a good job of making sure that the appropriate amount is set aside. And also with a decrease in our property tax collections means that even with allocating the proper amount, there still could be and likely will be a shortage that the general fund may have to make up. But we do want to make sure that we at all times are remaining on target to make that payment. And if we are falling behind, we want to know about it so we can start looking for alternatives. So if I can, I'm going to ask Chris if you can, just to, I guess maybe speed up a little bit. We have that, and then our status of our water bills, because we have the payment to the city of Chicago. If you don't mind bundling that, just kind of talking about where we're at with the status of our water bill payment to the city of Chicago, as well as the status of our bond payments. Okay,
so for the bond payments, I will direct everyone to either electronic 37 or hard copy 33. So that is the comparative debt service for all your various bonds. The one item I want to note on here is last year the general fund had to fund $441,000 of the principal payment. This year it was $553,000 or $554,000. So that's something that we need to recognize that for the next fiscal year, we may have to fund maybe over $500,000 with general fund monies. So now electronic page 43, hard copy 39. Our City of Chicago payment is going to be about 1.2 million. We currently have, through the combination of what we've collected in real estate taxes from prior months and from water surpluses for operations, we have 1.6 million in the account, which covers the entire amount for the next year payment. But that includes water operation surpluses. So if any water infrastructure improvements are needed, that's where those monies will also come out of. So right now, this all reflects as overfunded, but that's because we haven't updated for the interest and principal payments that will be coming in June 21 and December 21. So next month's financials will have a better reflection of where we stand for our bonds to fund it for next year.
Okay, and I have one question and one point I want to make on that too. As we talk about bond payments, one thing that have been discussed in previous years and months is that we do annually take out an additional bond for Homewood Disposal, which is our garbage service. Prior years, the goal or the intention will be that we can gradually decrease that amount. And as we see all of the financial challenges, that's one thing we want to, at a minimum, we want to note that every year, generally around December, it comes up for a vote on the renewal of that and the amount that we want to renew. So as we're looking at the budget, that's critical. I think in most cases we use the same amount, but if the board should see fit that we want to start decreasing that, we have to know that that's additional money we are allocating from our potential revenue source. So that's one area I wanted to kind of make note of. But with that being said, I'll kind of open it up for any committee or board member, any questions about the water collections and a point of clarity. So I heard your report, Chris. Just to make sure, we are still on track for City of Chicago water payment as well as bond.
Yep, currently.
Okay. With that being said, I'll open up for committee or board members. Any questions?
One question, we do have property taxes coming up for our second installment, correct? Is it August or something like that?
I know that the payment was the deadline for payment was deferred for the first payments. I don't remember if the second payment was deferred.
Okay.
Which the overall deferment of property tax payments has kind of messed up the regular tax collection schedule. So that creates that makes planning cash flow a little difficult, because normally we can anticipate that February, March, April will be flushed with property taxes, and then September, October will be flushed with property taxes. Due to the deferment of when they're due, it messes up when we can expect that cash to come in.
Gotcha. Now, are we able to decrease our bond this time? I know we were talking about working, as Jason said, working on decreasing that bond. Are we able to decrease that bond we normally get?
So go ahead, trustee.
So yeah, I think I made time. Right now, the budget, and we're going to speak on that on our new business, but the budget right now is in the works, and the mayor is working with our finance team to present a proposed budget, which will share what the intention is for our direction. Once that budget is presented to us, all of us as trustees will have an opportunity to discuss it collectively and discuss also with our mayor any suggestions that we have, so that we can begin coming to an agreement. So I think at this moment it may be a little premature to identify whether or not we can, but I know that's definitely one thing we want to be mindful of.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Any additional questions?
Okay, one more. I know we got a new administration that just came in. Are we seeing an increase as far as wages? I know we had some go out, some come in. Did we see a decrease or an increase?
Overall, some have changed, but there's been quite a few changes in positions and overall in those that have left. I know there have been, I can't give you exact as to one way or the other for confirmation, just because I need to look at all those that have left compared to those that have came in to be able to give that answer, and I haven't done that analysis yet.
So that's fair to say sometime next month or something like that. It'll give a better, because they're just coming in, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. And Trustee, if I can note to that too, I think Chris and I had some discussion, so he will be working to give more updates as people are coming in and off via email to the board. I think there's been a lot of moving parts that have made it challenging to get that to us immediately, but I think as things smooth out, we'll be able to get that information. If I'm saying that accurately, Chris, I don't want to speak for you on that.
Yeah, I'm hoping that I should get you guys that information soon. Like, just because of all the new people that are coming in, until they come in, I either have to then go to their files and actually do the calculations, or I can pull it from the software, but it takes the software to actually pay them before I can pull that information from it.
That's why I said maybe sometime in July, we probably can have a roundabout figure then.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chris.
Yep, no problem.
Okay. All right, any additional questions? Okay, if not, hearing none, we're gonna do one other follow-up item. Some months ago, we discussed the implementation, and I know it was underway of utilizing time clocks for our staff to try to get a better tracking mechanism for hours, and make sure that we're just holding everybody, each other accountable. So if you can kind of advise me, Chris, has that been implemented? Where does that stand? Any challenges? And are we seeing that to be beneficial?
So a lot of people are using it. As far as I'm aware, all of the various employees are using it. There are some that are just having a little issues in the sense of the system is not recognizing them or those types of items. We did stop the implementation process, or actually going to the next step of actually doing it through payroll, just because new department heads were coming in. It didn't seem beneficial to train all of the outgoing department heads to just have to retrain all the new department heads. So my hope is to soon have them all get trained, and then we'll be processing payroll and everything through that way.
Okay. Any question, committee, board members?
No. Well, I guess it's doing what it was supposed to do. It's working. Is that what you're saying, Chris?
From what I'm seeing, I haven't done the research to actually go review each person's time, just because until we're live, it would be me spending time to just then say to spend more time down the line. So I'm not reviewing every person's time, just because it doesn't help right now. But now I will be starting the process of looking at what's being reported to me versus what's in the system to find if there are differences and see if there's any problems in that ground, since we have new department heads that can assist and get trained on the system.
Right. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Okay. Hearing none, we're going to go to new business. New business is just the status of our fiscal year 2022 audit. As we know, the audit. Yes, sir.
Budget, not audit.
Oh, I said audit. Okay, yeah, audit's on my mind. Fiscal year 2022 budget. So our budget period began May 1st. So as it stands currently, we are operating without a budget until this is completed. We knew that, and I'll say we knew with the administrative changes is generally on course that there's going to be some changes with the new administration. So we are behind on that. In prior years, we have not had a budget on time as well. So as we move into next year, we do want to get that process started sooner. What I have ascertained is that the mayor is working to get the audit information together. We will be on target. July 31st is the deadline for us to have that into the county. So that way there's no difficulties in terms of our property tax collection. But we want to make sure that we're properly going through the process, including everybody. So the anticipation and hope is that there will be at least a draft of a budget presented to the board by next month's finance committee meeting, if not a little bit sooner, and we can move that process forward. Having said that, I don't know, Chris, if you had any additional comments, and I'll open it back up to the board.
No, other than I'm working on it, and I'm hoping to meet that deadline.
Okay. Any questions, committee board?
Yes. I know, I guess I can email us, but there's two things. The Public Works Committee, I know, or not Public Works Committee, but Public Works need that, I really want to see what we spent last year. I want to, I know I can look at it and get a chance to look at it. And then we have to make some room for equipment and for some hires to get up to union contract. And then I spoke with the mayor and she expressed her desire to do some upgrades in the media center. So I just want to put that out there now. If we can put if there's enough or something we can put in the budget for some upgrades or some equipment and some computers that's needed down there. So I just want to put that out there now. And I can get the exact amount and, what we're looking for and then what suggestions that, I come up with and see what's reasonable and we can put that in the budget.
Okay. So just make sure I understood updates for media center and updates for equipment for public works, correct?
Yes. But the updates to the public works upgrades, that's the big ticket items. The loaders, some of the trucks and stuff like that. Them are big ticket items. The media centers, the stuff is not as expensive as public works, but it's still something that we can just put a line item and put it under media center.
Okay.
And if I can, to Trustee Steve, to your point, too, I would ask the question. I know we normally do this, but just for the sake of my clarity, Chris, you generally, when you're doing the budget, do you meet with all of the department heads to get that information as well? Because I want to make sure that not only, of course, the public works and media, as Trustee Steve is mentioning, but we do want input from all departments, so that way everybody gets the opportunity to put out there what we need, and we can kind of weigh priorities.
Yeah, my usual process for budget preparations, I usually meet with all of the respective department heads, go over what their needs are, and then from there, I meet with the village administrator for any other items from an infrastructure or village-wide process, and then I provide a copy to finance committee and the board for review and adjustments accordingly.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's critical that we, of course, try to support the departments, as Trustee Steve mentioned, and also if we're not able to, we have to realize that that's going to create a service challenge that we don't want to burden the department if we're not providing them everything that they need. But having said that, Trustee Steve, any additional questions?
No.
Okay. Anything else from board, committee? Okay. Hearing none, that does conclude our agenda for the board. We'll come to our final point, which is citizens' address. So I'll ask Mr. Blocker, if you can, if there are any questions for this board, please read them off. We'll do our best to answer them and provide clarity to our community.
Okay, there are no questions at this time.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll work on attendance for this meeting next time for our community. But hearing that, I hope that this is good information that as we air it, that residents get it, and we can, of course, be open to making sure that we do our best to provide clarity. I think that some of the things that we have gone over, I mean, there have been some tough things on here. I think as I some lightheartedly speak with Chris about wanting to make sure we have some positive input. I think that there are positive things going on, so I give credit. I thank my fellow committee members for always having their time. I thank Trustee Belcher for joining us, Mr. Blocker, Chris. I think everybody does a great job supporting this committee. So I want to give that praise. And we always want to make sure that we're honest and transparent with the community so that our challenges as we go into more difficult decisions have been expressed. So thanks everybody for their time. And with that, I'm going to make a motion at 6:20 that we adjourn. So my motion to adjourn.
Okay. So what does everybody think about that? There was a fiscal surplus. How much was that surplus? Now, upcoming, you're going to hear from the fire department, public works, all of the other departments desperate in need of fire trucks, loaders, dump trucks. I think at this time they only had one lawnmower for public works. And then we have, of course, COVID, where the property taxes are going to be delayed. But this is interesting. Now I want to go to the first meeting of the Henyard administration. Okay. I'm going to try not to talk too long because, you know.
Thank you, Cliff. Next on the agenda, we have, well, no, I'm going to start with, can I have a motion to approve retainer agreement and engagement of Ansel and Glee? Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
The motion is second. Call the roll. Oh,
Discussion.
any discussion? Any discussion?
If you can explain the difference, because I know we were on the top on 5, but now 6. Can you explain the difference in the retainer agreement and engagement versus the just explain the difference. What is this part that we're approving?
Okay. I'm gonna give the floor to Attorney Shante.
So the first item that you approved earlier related to actual appointment of the village attorney. That is a corporate office, so it does require a specific motion to appoint to that position. This second motion is actually approving the agreement that will govern the terms of Ansel Glee providing services. So even though you have appointed a village attorney or a village prosecutor, you still should have an agreement that sets forth the parameters of the relationship, particularly when it comes to fees, billing, and the business side of legal representation. So that's why it's 2 separate items.
All right, thank you.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, in the agreement, there's 3 different amounts. I'm just 30. The partner amount, the associate amount, and the paralegal amount. Those amounts are only charged when we use each different person. I guess that's what I'm asking.
Yes. So when you receive monthly invoices, our billing practices require itemization. So anyone that touches any file for the village will be required to make a time entry, and is tracked by the amount of time spent per person. So depending on who's doing the work, those rates will be attributed to those people. So many times, if it's something that a paralegal can do, I won't do it because it doesn't make sense for me to bill as the partner to perform a task that a paralegal can perform at a cheaper rate. So it allows us flexibility to have a cost savings for things that can be delegated and assigned to other levels of employees within the firm. So you have the 3 rates because we don't charge the same for associates and partners because the partners have a higher level of experience. And oftentimes you'll get a faster answer from me than you may an associate who still doesn't have the level of experience that the partners possess. So it's a way to save money and still be efficient and provide you the services that you need.
Thank you, Attorney Roach, Grace Roach.
I got one more question. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, so one more question for the attorney. So if as a trustee, I remember the previous attorney, I could call him if I had a legal question. You're accessible to us. If we need any legal advice, anything like that, I can just call or email. What's the best way to get in touch with you?
So I am accessible to provide service because I work for the corporate authority for the body as well as the mayor. I will just say that in best practice, you want to have a procedure for that, because if everyone's picking up the phone and calling the attorneys, you're getting multiple bills for things that could be streamlined or managed in a better way. I would never tell an elected official, don't call me or you can't call me. But I do just say that it always works best when there's a process and like you have some of you may be having the same questions. So rather than 5 people calling, it may be best to have a point person or someone designated to be the contact person. But I am available is the simple answer to your question. But I think just as we work through these issues, there are some better ways of doing things and communicating.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That's it for my questions. Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, that ends discussion. Clerk Key, call the roll.
Trustee Holmes. You're on mute.
Yeah, keep going out on me. Okay. Aye.
Trustee Norwood. Aye. Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Belcher.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Brown. Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Next on the agenda, can I have a motion to approve retainer agreement and engagement of Delgado Law Group? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and second. Call the roll.
Trustee Holmes.
Oh, discussion.
Oh, you don't want
I don't know what's going on today. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
None. No discussion.
Yes.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Trustee Norwood. Aye. Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Belcher.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
And Trustee Brown. Aye.
Motion carries to us as a unit.
Okay. What does everybody think so far about the first financial meeting in the Henyard administration? While they do say it's a fiscal surplus, you can tell by that meeting big troubles are coming up, right? Yeah. Delgado drives the belt. Is Delgado even in the meetings anymore? Or is his underlings? Just a question. Delgado is all over Illinois. Most definitely. You can see the thumb of the trustees here. The first financial meeting of the Henyard administration. There's going to be problems coming up because all of these departments need major equipment that is going to cost buku bucks, and they are late on their bond payments. You heard just Jason House say that, late on their bond payments. Also, they discussed Homewood bond. I think they all had some good intentions when they started, just giving them the benefit. Yeah, they did. You see how this meeting is, this is the first meeting, May 12th, okay? It's very calm. Everybody's getting along together. Henyard is not being rude, calling people names or anything like that. But I thought these two videos would be very telling on what is to come. And I'm also going to play some warrant lists as well. Potato in the house. Potato, where are you? There you are. Oh, you're still at work. That's a 4-letter word, you know. Yeah, all giggles. All giggles. But I thought this was a very interesting place to start as far as who's lying, who's not, where's the money. Okay. We hear about trips and all of this and overspending. But it's fascinating to see where they were financially when she came in, her administration, and where they are now.
And we will move as a unit. We will make dollars. Mr.
Yes.
Williams, no, Mr. Moore, if you're
Yes.
on the call, you're there? Okay. Can you
Yes,
just
I
tell
am.
them a little bit about what you've been doing over there and how it's going?
Okay. Well, we appreciate it, Madam Mayor. Congratulations. I want to say to the residents as well that
And here comes William Moore. It's interesting. The trustees voted for Delgado. Okay. Plain as day. And the other law firm, right? They broke but still have food with the trustees. Yeah, Woods. Yeah. It seems like Tiffany starts out good in the relationships, but it ends up going south. The common denominator, whoops, somebody just clicked on me. Dang it. Common denominator with her relationships is her in the township and Dalton, right? Is it a coincidence? No. Okay.
a new day is here, and we appreciate you supporting the mayor and supporting this this team. My name is William Moore. I'm actually the director over in the water billing department. My goal is, and
Mr.
yes.
Williams, no, Mr. Moore, if you're
Yes.
on the call, you're there? Okay. Can you
Yes,
just
I
tell
am.
them a little bit about what you've been doing over there and how it's going?
Shoot, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, fiscal year surplus, right? But they've got problems coming down the road, as you heard Kasperek say, because of property taxes being deferred, right? Anthony, welcome. What happened to the money from the checks that were never cashed? Okay, we're starting this out in her first term. Okay, the beginning of her term. Okay, and we're gonna find out what was the status of the village when she came in. Yeah, I was muted, Cynthia. Sorry. What was the status? And we're going to go through after this. You can always play it back and see the budget meeting, the first budget meeting of the Henyard administration. She seems to have, well, yeah. You think? Is it everybody? Is it everybody? Oh, you must be talking about St. Patrick's, right? I did a video on that, and it was a very interesting video. Where Peter, did you know that Kiana Belcher in a meeting was against St. Patrick's? And she had a 12-page letter saying that the building was unsound, that it was not built right. Did you catch that? Just a question. Hey, Dana B's here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, and we're going through those warrant lists piece by piece. And what about businesses that don't pay their taxes? What about Class 8s? Don't get me wrong. Henyard is not a leader. Okay. Everybody knows how I feel about that. But we want to get to the meat and potatoes instead of all this fluff. Revenue expected to be almost $1 million less. Yeah. Did you have a typo? I don't know, Brilliant. Ask Kiana Belcher, because she never showed anybody that 12-page letter from an engineer that said that St. Patrick's, the building, was unsound. And I played that in a live last night. It's in the beginning of the live. And you can watch. Kiana Belcher says it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I play what people say. Okay. And I put up receipts as well. Speaking of that place, I need someone to contact me that lives in Dalton. I need some information and guidance. I think there's a couple of people here that can help you, Potato. Let me screenshot that too. I screenshot things so I can remember the questions that I can answer later. That's all it is. Was a 12-page letter referring to the... No. It was referred to the new building, St. Patrick's. Yeah, go to last night's live and you will see Kiana Belcher against that building. And she has a 12-page letter. I've never seen what was in the letter. She just held it up, and said that the building was unsound. That's all I can say about it. Oh, okay, you saw it. Okay, yeah. Okay. We're not arguing. We're just having a conversation, I love everybody's opinions, unless you think it 10,000 times smarter than me. Had to throw that in there. Potato can get to the bottom of it if he can get information on the ground. You hear that, residents? Yeah, it was kind of quirky, wasn't it? I don't know why she was against St. Patrick's being built. I have no idea. And she never explained it after that I know of, that I've ever seen. I don't know. Ha ha ha. Blueprints. Okay. Here we
Okay. Well, we appreciate it, Madam Mayor. Congratulations. I want to say to the residents as well that a new day is here, and we appreciate you supporting the mayor and supporting this team. My name is William Moore. I'm actually the director over in the water billing department. My goal is, and what I'm excited about, is creating an environment that will promote transparency, efficiency, and professional customer service and accountability. And so we've been working diligently with the staff that we have, getting data together so that we can see what the current situations are and the concerns with the residents are, and gathering that data as somewhat of a skeleton so that with the policies and procedures, we begin to put some meat on those bones so that we can serve our residents and provide them with the service that they deserve, and let them know that we are there to serve. And so we know about the estimated water bills and their meter readings being estimated. And so we hear their concerns. So we do, and we're putting together a comprehensive plan to actually let them know we hear you and we're going to do something about it. It's just not going to be lip service. So I don't see it as a challenge. I really see it as an opportunity to serve Dalton and the village of Dalton, and to work closely and collaboratively with the board to get the residents, the service that they deserve. So I appreciate the opportunity. So thanks again, Mayor, and congratulations to you once again.
Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah. How did William Moore get from the water department to housing? How did that happen? I feel like Tiffany is a bit jealous of people who have a good idea and follow through. I think she wanted a free and deed type food place, and she wanted sit down restaurants. You're absolutely right. I agree with that 100%, Wyoming. Because I don't think, in my opinion, Tiffany wants smart people around her, right? You know, look at God, I can't remember her name. Why can't I remember her name? It always falls short in my brain. I am getting old. How the hell did William Moore get from the water department, which is, it's always been a mess? How did he get from the water department to housing? Is the board at this point in time making decisions on where people go? You know what I mean? Yeah, and the star is falling, right? Rapidly. It's like a falling star, isn't it? I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Next on the agenda is can I have a motion to approve resolution authorizing agreement with insurance broker Insurance Source?
I motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
There's a motion and second. Please call the
Okay.
roll, clerk, please.
Trustee Holmes?
No discussion?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Aye.
I didn't even get discussion. Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Trustee Holmes? Trustee Holmes?
Aye.
Trustee Norwood? Aye. Trustee Steve?
Aye.
Trustee Belcher?
Aye.
Trustee House?
Aye.
And Trustee Brown? Aye.
Motion carries. Cliff Taylor.
Yeah, brilliant disguise. Yeah, well, didn't Kamal own the property and then sell it? Is that my understanding? So, serve and save, welcome, good to see you. That's an interesting take. I remember there was a ballot measure for a food room set up like Free and Deed, and it was voted down. That's right. She wanted that, didn't she? Is that why she went against Free and Deed? I mean, Free and Deed. People can go in. They wanted to expand, right? Well, can I say Henyard or whoever gives out permits? Who was giving out permits at the time? Was it William Moore? Because I think it was. I'm not positive, but, you know, I think it was William Moore giving out permits, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. How the hell did he get from water department to all the bullshit he's in now? Actually, the people around criminal Tiffany are her punks, including her boyfriend, who will be gone once she's out of office. I heard that, Anthony. Why isn't he divorced yet? We really don't get into the gossip. I'm sorry. But changed his mind. Oh, he reluctantly sold it. Yeah, so where's the 12-page report that building was unsound? And if Kamal gave it to Kiana Belcher reads stuff, right? She's not stupid, right? She would have read over that report line by line, right? So that's why I'm confused with that whole thing. I'm not quite sure what happened. Burgundy Blue showed a video of the owners of St. Patrick as they were beginning the process, and they were getting along fine. And now all of a sudden they're at each other's throats. Ah, was he? Okay. There is more to a shutting down a construction job than that, like that. For example, if it was bad as the report in the letter, they would have recommended stopping it. Yeah. If she says she had that 12-page letter. We've never seen it. Well, I've never seen it. Maybe some people have. But if it was built unsound, meaning it could come crashing down, where is that 12-page report? Oh, it says reluctantly in the contract. In the township. But what a coincidence that she took free indeed idea of a supermarket food room. Thornton Township, we've seen videos of when Zuccarelli did it, right? For the township. So it's nothing new about giving away the food boxes and all that. And the biggest problem I have with Tiffany Henyard is her mouth and her lies, and trying to figure out, is it all just lies? All of it. Some people just separate before. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. I think the building was finished. Then they kept delaying the liquor license. Well, that video I posted was from May of 2023. The building was not finished at that time when Kiana Belcher said, I have a 12-page report. They would have shut it down immediately, involving a lot more parts than just a letter. Yeah, this is where it gets very confusing. Tracy, so good to see you. He tells her it's taking time. 4 years is a record. But then St. Patrick's, of course, donated to the Friends of Tiffany Henyard in 2023. Was that pay to play? But it's a question. You're home. Oh, you're homesick. Ooh. Okay, Tracy. I've got you. Grocery store set up, not food boxes from. No, it's not food boxes. Free indeed. That, you know, people actually can go in there with like a hand cart. I don't know if they have shopping carts, but you know, they could just pick whatever they want, right? Free indeed. It's free. It is free to everybody. Is it, the boxes are free too? Okay. Yeah, but the food thing with the township has been going on forever with Zuccarelli. But yeah, free indeed. You just go in and pick out whatever you want, right? No one ever seen anything criminal. Tiffany has done, you mean, Anthony? Yeah, I'm looking for criminal activity. Oh, no. Oh, so serve. That just happened recently with the license, but in May of 2023, Kiana Belcher, you know, last night's video, I put it right at the beginning, stated and showed with her hand a 12-page report that the building was unsound. So that's what we're talking about with the unsound building and the license that they just, what a beautiful place it is. But I don't know what happened to that 12-page report. 6 o'clock, I believe. French. Yeah. Free Indeed is a wonderful place. I'm not saying anything against it. I have a problem with the political campaign headquarters being in the building. But where in the building? That's a large building. And I just thought about that just now. That's a gigantic building. Is that building all under 501c? That I don't know. I want that 12. Yes, you do. Let's see if we can get that 12-page report to Potato Gaming. So it would be very helpful if they would just put up the meeting minutes that would include that report. I'm just trying to get through the and then they donated to both parties. I didn't see that. It might be current. But all I saw was Friends of Tiffany Henyard in 2023, to be honest. But they could have donated to both parties. I just didn't see it. I'm voting. I donate to a food room like that in my town. Very neat. Yeah. I do. Well, all right. I can't tell too much about myself. Okay. We'll go on. Critical, cannot find it. Whoa. Food pantry. Food pantries are great. Free Indeed allows folks to select which foods best suit each recipient, from what I understand. What a gigantic selection they have, isn't it? And what a great thing for residents, right? How Criminal Tiffany holds up papers, but they never see them. I'd like to see that 12-page report that Kiana Belcher held up as well. Yeah. But yeah, you're right, Anthony. And it's always, I'm going to show you. 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 I need to get one of those dogs that go in the back of the car and bobbles up and down and just says, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. Oh, okay. Yep, pantry. They could claim that the safety barriers were not structurally sound. There are regulations for that. Unsafe safety devices can shut the job down. Absolutely. And I told a story about a building that collapsed on workers, and I won't go back through that. Ask Kiana. Potato. Email Kiana for that 12-page report. See what she says. She only mentioned it once. Nobody answered her, and I don't think it was ever brought up again. But why? Why did she even mention it? Why did she hold up the paperwork? See, this is, we have to play fair here, right? Because these are all elected officials. You know, we can't just bash Tiffany and say, wait a minute. Well, it's okay for you to raise up papers and say it says something, and then we never hear about it again, right? We just can't do that. Is that right? You know, what if I said something and Brilliant, you said something, you know, you held up paperwork and then nobody ever said it again. Did that make sense? Probably not. I'm sorry. Yeah. It is. It's very strange. And Potato is smart. He's just not a gamer. Oh, Tracy. Really? Okay. I thought maybe the general contractor fixed the things on the punch list and then it passed the final inspection. Yeah. And we agreed upon that, Wyoming. But we're asking for Potato's asking for the paperwork. He wants to see what was on it. What was on those papers that stated from an engineer that building was unsound? He don't know what time is tomorrow. It's supposed to be 6 o'clock. Hey, Crook County, good to see you. Slid in by a landslide. Lawyer Tiff works for Delgado firm, I believe. Yeah, she does. She works for the Delgado firm. Most definitely. I remember Free Indeed wants something with the other part of the building. Maybe Cynthia or Karen would know. I think it was clothing. Remember, she did that interview. Was it with the news, I think? And they wanted to add different places in the building. And I think one of them was for clothing, which is great. The whole board is trash. Okay. What a concept, decorum. The whole building of Free Indeed is not, this 501c. They are classified by the business, not the building. Thank you so much, Potato Gaming. I really appreciate that. I very much appreciate that. I can't imagine Kiana in a back room typing up an engineering report. No, I can't. I can't either. My theory is somebody wrote a 12-page letter hoping it would shut it down even longer and somebody could come in and buy it for themselves. But why would Kiana fall for it? Why would Kiana Belcher fall for it? And that's my question. Why would she fall for it? You get the star for the day, Potato. Looky there. Maybe Rutger uses the same engineering firm. I don't know. Maybe we should look into engineering firms. Detective movie. Was it on the warrant list ahead of time? I did not see it, Karen. Oh yeah, I have more things on the way. No, it makes sense. I got lost. I'm sorry. Brilliant. I got lost. We come with receipts. We do. Yes, we do here. I think the entire point is this local government is not transparent on both sides. JB gets the star for the day. I'm sorry, Potato, your star has been taken down. JB gets it. Tracy. I will email her when hell freezes over. Oh my God. I need some information on getting another way. We have to get that report. And Potato, I'll email you. And we'll see about that. I'm a suburb of a major city, and we had no water for like 3 to 4 days, 2 weeks ago. Wow. Jeez. Oh. No, Kiana just didn't mention it, Brilliant. She did not just mention it. She went through a 5-minute deal, raising up above her head a 12-page report. It was not just a mention that, you know, we've got to separate this stuff, okay? Nobody, well, I can't say nobody likes Tiffany, but most of us here do not like Tiffany. Most of us agree Tiffany should not be mayor or supervisor. Well, supervisor's out the window, right? But we have to hold all elected officials accountable. We just have to. And she just mentioned it. Well, that's a big mention. You know, when you're throwing up in the air a 12-page report that this building is unsound, that's a pretty big accusation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Somebody holding up proper paperwork but never showing it is the old game people do to revert people. Yes, and I'm going to start playing because I've been accused of talking too much. So here we go.
Here today.
Yes, I am, Madam President.
All right, let's hear from you.
All right. Well, first, congratulations to you and congratulations to all the new trustees. Congratulations on your reelection, Trustee House, to all the other trustees. Would like to thank you for the opportunity of seeing me fit to come back on the second go round here. I plan to pick up right where I left off. 2 years ago, we were doing some great things. We were putting together safety committee meetings, and we formed a safety committee and was putting together entire safety manuals for all of our employees to go by. I don't know where that has gone in the last 2 years, but I plan on getting that back on track, getting our safety manuals going, getting policies and procedures in place, and getting our whole structure of our insurance plan. I'm gonna start off doing a comprehensive benefits analysis of the entire program, see what has changed, what's working, what's not, and see how we can move forward in a good way to contain costs for the village, continue to move forward, get our employees as out there safety as possible, especially with the summer seasons coming up. Gonna be cutting grass, cutting down trees and all that things. We want to make sure our employees are out there and that they're safe. And we just want to continue to move the village in a positive direction. And I'm just very, very excited with the board we have here. And I just thank you for the opportunity to serve this great village. Thank you.
Thank you, Becca.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on. Number 7, discussion and potential action to approve certain contracts for terms not to exceed the term of the mayor. Item A is being removed from the agenda.
Wait. Was there just something on there about a term of a mayor? Let me make sure.
Number 7, discussion and potential action to approve certain contracts for terms not to exceed the term of the mayor. Item.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Contracts not to go past the term of mayor. Okay.
A is being removed from the agenda. So we're going to item B. Can I have a motion to approve a resolution authorizing contract with public relations firms, Sean Howard of STH Media?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
There's a motion and second. Clerk Key, call the roll. Oh, any discussion? I'm sorry.
Any discussion?
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Trustee Holmes,
Aye.
Trustee Norwood. Aye. Trustee Steve,
Aye.
Trustee Belcher. Trustee Belcher. Okay, Trustee House.
Belcher,
Aye.
aye.
Belcher's back.
Yes, aye.
Okay, Trustee House.
Aye.
Trustee Brown. Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. I want to give the floor over to Sean Howard to say a few words. Sean?
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you to Clerk Key and the Board of Trustees. This is my homecoming of sorts, coming back to the Village of Dalton. I remember, Madam President and others on the board reflecting back to times of the past when things were a lot better that you reflected upon. And I was happy to be part of that regime that promoted the town then. And I'm showing my age because I remember when Trustee House was just a little guy and and everyone on the board. But I look forward to working with both the police chief and the fire chief. And we're not here to put out fires. We're here to generate good news for the entire city. So I'm excited. I'm ready to work. I'm really excited about the energy on the new board and some of the department heads coming in, the legal team. And I just think collectively we can promote our town in a much better fashion than what we have in times past. And we really can show the world what our good residents are about. And we're going to do that with a talk show, which will offer transparency. Eye on Dalton, where the clerk, the trustees can join the mayor on a weekly and bi-monthly basis to talk about the good things that are happening, not just in policy, but the culture of our town and the people of our town. We have seniors that are doing great things in the village of Dalton, youth that are doing great things. And so we want to coalesce all those talents and talk about it monthly so the people can be informed. And once again, I thank the board collectively for your approval. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sean. Have a resolution authorizing signatories on bank accounts. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to pass.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? I got it that time.
I didn't understand this. And maybe somebody, I know it said bank accounts, but what was it? And this is why meeting minutes are so important, right?
Resolution authorizing signatories on bank accounts. Is there a motion?
What did she say? Because she talks weird, right? What did she say? God.
And once again, I thank the board collectively for your approval. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sean. Have a resolution authorizing signatories on bank accounts. Is there a motion?
She's like, signatories? What the hell did she just say? Because they're talking about the bank account and the board votes yes. But see, this is why meeting minutes are so signatory. Thank you, Wyoming. Because she just talks weird, right? Really, really weird.
I make a motion to pass.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? I got it that time. No discussion. Call the roll.
Trustee Holmes.
Aye.
Aye.
Trustee Norwood.
Aye.
Trustee Steve.
Aye.
Trustee Belcher.
Aye.
Trustee House.
Aye.
And Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Motion carried 6-0.
Okay. So I'm showing this part because this is for 2021. They made a promise that the meeting minutes and ordinances would be up on the website, right? They're not. This is 2021 that you're seeing right here. If you click on view, this is what you're going to get. That. Nada. Nothing. They broke their promise. They promised it would be up on the website. It is not. You can't get any meeting minutes. Why is it so difficult? Why? And are they hiding them? I'm sorry, but I have to say that because there are no meeting minutes for any of the years. And I have to question why. Because conscience asks why. Yeah, she does. She does. Yeah, and I have to stress this again. Everybody's opinion is welcome here. And we can have adult discussions about it and go back and forth like we do, Yeah. And why aren't they on there? They are for the township. I mean, and brilliant. On the warrant list for high society management, $3,500 for website design. Jason House, Kiana Ellison Key stated that they would be up on the website, and they're not. They are not. And that's why I have to question things, I don't like Tiffany. She's not a leader. Right. And even if you click on view, you don't get it. Yeah. So what's the deputy clerk doing? Yeah, they do all look suspicious. Yeah. A lot of things got put on the website except the important things, right? The things that people want to know about. Yeah, they weren't. Everybody has to go through the videos of the meetings to get anything about their minutes. You're correct, Anthony. That's why we play the old videos. Yeah, the assistant clerk got fired. Kickney. I'm sorry. Tiffany kicked her to the curb, right? Had the police escort her out of the building. But now she's rehired. Our own crying for crying out loud. Used in okay. I was way behind. You would think I'm drinking. Tracy. They should, brilliant, right? They should have everything, right? And what do you think about the Lori Lightfoot report coming in tomorrow? Even the township minutes are different from the video of the meetings. Really? Ooh. See, I haven't had time to go through the township board meetings. Dear Lord. Tracy does not drink. Mouse toes, you are safe as a mouse. They went after Willie Brown twice in San Fran and failed. I worry about the same thing with Tiff. Why is Tiffany so happy all the time? What does she know that nobody else seems to? I'd like to see the minutes. Maybe Clerk Key doesn't know how to do it, but she's not the one putting them on, right? Supposedly it is high society management. Because high society management, I showed, was on the warrant list. $3,500 they paid that company for website design. And Jason House, Clerk Key said, yep, they're going to be up there. And they're not. I do too. But is the FBI going to be there with handcuffs after that report? What is in those burgers? Oh, that disgust. Every time I think about that liquid going into those burgers at Good Burger, I just want to throw up. It'll be very colorful on a jumbotron, random numbers that don't add up. Yeah. I hope it's a lot better than it was. I really do. She's not so happy now. She looked horrible. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true, brilliant. She's only happy when she's not crashing out. Wait a minute. I am so sorry. They put me on new medication. It makes me tired. No, she's sleeping. She's sleeping. Yeah, reform of the Southland. Whatever way that looks like was the comment. Yeah, you know, I have a question, JB. I have a question about that. Now, we know Lori Lightfoot's getting what? $400 an hour? Or is it $300? I can't remember. I'm old. What about all the people that are helping her with this data? Is the village paying for that? You know, because Lori Lightfoot can't do it all by herself, just like I can't, right? Who's paying for all of these clerks? Who's paying for everything going into the courts to request documents? And that's a question. Because she has to have help, right? Oh, gosh. Brilliant. Those burgers. Injecting. No, I can't go there. Ugh. Did not get receipts. Only credit card statements. Where'd she get the credit card statements? And what about Amazon? Because I did not see on the warrant list one payment for $33,000. I saw the other things, which I put up. I'm not saying Lori Lightfoot is wrong. I'm not saying Lori Lightfoot is being played. Lori Lightfoot, I've said it 1,000 times, is a respectable prosecutor. She knows what she's doing, okay? Don't know anything about her mayorship. I don't care. Oh, even if it was for her, would she show up, Anthony? I'm going to go through a few more. Wow, these comments are good. I love your comments. Oh, hit the like button, like, subscribe, and whatever else I'm supposed to say. I'm not sure. I hope she can explain that too. Because on the PowerPoint, it was just highlighted, right? But where did it come from? I posted 2 of them that were actually on the warrant list. But there was no way a $33,000 purchase unless it is on one of the hidden ones. I don't know. Yeah, probably. The clerks and everything. Yeah. The citizens are the ones going to pay for it. But the citizens want this information, right? And some people say, well, why the hell can't the trustees just give it? Because you have to have an independent source coming in. And I understand that completely. Is it going to be worth $30,000? I should have got paid $30,000 for all the work I've done. Probably not. Does she? Doesn't she? I don't know. I can't say. Every word on an email. Oh my gosh. I think I better talk to my lawyers. Does anybody have different lawyers for themselves? I'm sorry, I got off topic. Sorry. Did someone really believe Tiffany smoked weed in front of Jed's house and the troll? Come on. I did not see anybody smoking. It was very cold out. I saw breath. There's a big difference, right? I'm not saying she didn't. I'm not saying she did because I didn't see it. If I can't see it with my own eyes, my own ears, I just can't say either way. Yeah. And why did the Kasper group, brilliant, donate to the Friends of Tiffany Henyard in 2023. Is that a conflict of interest? I do not. Plus legal in Illinois. Synthetic. Yeah, Wyoming, I didn't even see that on the warrant list. But Tiffany said it, right? Didn't Tiffany say that in that interview? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. And Anthony, we did that warrant list. Actually, we did a few of them. Didn't see the $33,000. I honestly didn't. If I saw it, it would have been plastered everywhere. I saw the other purchases, though. Lori will know how to find the theft because allegedly she did it. Oh, well, I don't know. I really don't know about Lori Lightfoot's mayorship. I didn't want to know. Okay. Did you see him smoking pot? Was it pot? Was it a cigarette? Did anybody see that was a joint being passed around? Yeah, potato. Yeah, they're passed. Was it a cigarette? I don't know. Does Tiffany Henyard smoke? I wouldn't think so. Right? Cigarettes, I mean. Yeah, I thought so, Wyoming. Thank you. And thank you, Karen. I thought she did. I thought she did. And I've always stated I do not have the warrant list, electronic warrant list for February 2023. And maybe that's where it would show up. But Jason House can't seem to find it. So I guess we'll have to wait, right? But I hope that Lori Lightfoot shows it on a warrant list, not on a PowerPoint. I wasn't there to smell the aroma. Can't timestamps. Okay, so what I wanted to do is quickly, I wanted to play those things. Using a credit card for Amazon makes it easy to bypass the board. Absolutely right. Well, look at all the credit card things that we've seen, right, Wyoming? You cannot say it's a lie if you see it in black and white, right? You just can't. All right, so I wanted to just briefly, this is the electronic warrant list for April 30th of 2021, and I'll make it bigger. There we go. Okay. Annual checks. Okay. I'm just going to skip through this. This is only 6 pages long. But let me push it over there. So you got Best Buy. City of Chicago, 2 payments. Jason's House said they were behind on their bond payments. Amazon. Okay. All the usual things that you would see. Okay. Now, I want to point this out because this is for a fire engine. Because the fire department desperately needed one. I think it was Trina Downs that said that. What the hell did she say about that fire truck going down the road? I can't remember, but it was hilarious. But this is April of 2021. Nothing nefarious here, right? I don't see anything. You know, you got your general fund. There's your general fund amount right there. Okay, $69,000. Here's your water fund. Okay. Total for regular checks. Okay. And then you have the inauguration. Now, you see this $500 for the Dalton Park District. They asked for a $500 donation for basketballs. I can't remember the list. But Henyard asked the board for permission to give them $500. The board voted yes for that. So that's what that is. There's nothing nefarious about it. They keep talking about the inauguration. Here's bills for the inauguration. Says it right there. Yeah. And that's about it. You got your total cash. And then your district funds, right? So this is what we go by on this channel. And I'm sorry, some of my warrant list videos are not coming out where you can hear them. So I want to put them up here. Oh, you think it was vape? I don't know. I'm not sure. Yes. There was a lot of contention with that. Yeah, she acted like she didn't even know. Give me a break. For Pete's sakes. So let's go over. Oop, where'd I go? There I am. Peekaboo. Let's go over May's. Okay, 2021. Now, I wanted to do this because for some reason they're just not coming out right. Okay, very short. This is going to be 5 pages. That's it. Electronic warrant list. Now you see, like, well, maybe not now, but before you were seeing 14 pages, right? City of Chicago. Okay, there you go. Here's Amazon. Okay. Looks like to me all office supplies. Okay. Nothing nefarious going on. Here's a street sweeper. Remember, I told you, and this is for Public Works, all of these departments really needed a lot of equipment, a lot of expensive equipment. Okay. Fifth Third Bank. That's a hell of a service charge, isn't it? I'm just saying. But that's it. That's it. Now you see warrant lists. They were just like, oh my gosh. But that was for May of 2021. Everything seemed nice and cozy, right? Okay. So now I wanted to go through June. I promise I'll be quick with them. And then you can just replay them afterwards. So here's June, and they get kind of hefty. But what happened in June? Bonds. And these are not just the, these are $1 million bonds that they take out every year. But I believe these are for the interest. But I'm not sure. It could just be a payment. Okay. Don't slice me up in the comments. There we go. That's better. Okay. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take that off. Take it off. There you go. Okay. So there you see. Okay. This is also only 5 pages long. I'll try to make it bigger. There you go. City of Chicago. 2 more payments. Okay. Homewood disposal. Interest. That's an interest payment. Do you really have to get bottled water from Walgreens? And why the hell does a village have late fees on a credit card? That's what I want to know. I really want to know. Amazon. I see office supplies. Okay, that's all I see. I'm not saying that a Henry down the road didn't do anything else. I'm just showing you what I see. And there's nothing really else, right? Well, you've got Morello's Pizzas for meals and Dunkin' Donuts. Are these for task forces? You know, for the cops that go on major crimes. That's what I'm wondering. For that. Amalgamated Bank of Chicago. Interest on bonds. This is just the interest. You cannot make this up. You can't. This village has been in debt up to its ass for over a decade. They all know it. They take out bonds every single year. And this is the way it goes. And this is the interest that they have to pay on them. Oh, they got hog wild in there. Now, starting with the food, right? Meals. Now, these only say meals, right? But in later warrant lists, we find out exactly who these meals are for. Okay. And yeah, there you go. It. So, general fund, water fund, all the bonds. And that's why you have that big total of $719,089.05. That's why you have it, because of bonds. Bonds. That's it. That's it for June. Okay. Now, another electronic warrant list. And I think this is going to be the last one. So hold your breath. They're going to be for October of 2021. Let me make it bigger. There we go. Okay. Homewood disposal bond. You know, they like to make these little semantics that, you know, these people have been borrowing this money for over a decade. They all know it. I'm just going to briefly go through that. Now, these I like. These are the new look for warrant lists, okay, and I like them. City of Chicago, 2 payments. Okay. Now, this is a credit card right here, right? So what was bought with the credit cards? Sorry. What is this? Landscaping material for $2,500. $8,852. House music water. Okay. Homewood disposal. The principal. Okay. And interest. They pay this every single year. And this is the proof. This is why they're always in debt, because they have to borrow to pay the bills until the taxpayers pay their property taxes, and that's how they pay back the bonds. Credit card fee. Okay. Bond fees. 2020 Homewood. Homewood disposal bond. That's a fee. What would happen if they didn't have all these bonds out? What if they just paid their, bills regularly and on time? So there's your grand total, $941,846.52. Take a hint from me, Stan Brown. That's how you read the bills into record. But mostly bonds, right? Borrowing money. Borrowing money. And it continues on and on and on and on and on. Berg, welcome. I'm sorry, I haven't been paying attention to chat. I am so sorry. Oh, House Music Fest. I don't know if that's normal or not, Wyoming. Nothing is anything in this village normal. Vonage was cloud communication. They closed it at least. I've seen it on upcoming warrant list too, you know. I wanted to show one more thing. What the hell was it? I saw Berg and it just stunned me. Okay, so I want to show you this. This is a board packet, okay? This is what the board gets every meeting. They're supposed to. Boom. Meeting minutes. You know, you get your agenda, committee reports, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to skim through this. Yeah. Resolutions, ordinances, oak construction. Now, approval of oak construction. Oh, let me make it bigger. I'm so sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry. Oak construction payments for roof and window program. Who owns oak construction? Does anybody know in the chat? Just a question, you know. Not quite sure. Everyone cleaning and listening in. I'm glad you have been, Berg. Berg was my first guest. Who would have thunk it? Berg. Yeah, oak construction. We're looking into that. Oak construction. Yeah, did he? I heard he did. I did hear he did. Okay. But these are meeting minutes. Okay. This is what should be up on the website. Okay. I'm just going to skim through it because I just want to show you what the board gets and the administration. It's not just all about the board. It's about every elected official. Okay. And this is what they want to take off, or what's on the warrant list. I'm confused. I'm getting a little tired. This new medication they have me on. Ugh, sorry. All right. Motion by Trustee House. Let me make it bigger. To pay the list, removing the following items. Rent a Christmas. Rent a Christmas. $50,000 to rent a Christmas. It's true. We've seen it on the warrant list. We can't make it up. $50,000 to rent a Christmas. Okay. I'm going to skim through this because we got to get the flock out of here. But these are meeting minutes. Anybody who wants this is December of 2022. But I just wanted to show what the elected officials get, what the administration gets. They get all the warrant lists. They get all the meeting minutes. All of it. All of it. All of it. There's Amazon. Okay. Total $5,500. Beggar's Pizza. We know who owns Beggar's Pizza, right? For $596. But, you know, all of these charges, you know, for the bakery and all this crap. But anyways, I'm going to skim real fast. So if you have trouble with your eyes in fast motion, okay, close them. Okay, let's go. They have all these warrant lists every time they come to the board meeting. Whether they get them on time, who knows? Tiffany says they do. No, Tiffany's never said they don't get them on time, did she? The board says they don't get them on time. Oh, there's that oak construction for fencing. Okay. Stop it. Stop it, conscious. Just get through where you want to go. Okay. So here you're going to see all the data, potato, on the resolutions and ordinances that they want to pass. Okay? Even give you maps. Look at that. Peekaboo. I'm going to have to do something with that so I can correct it so it's the right way. But ordinances. This is what the board gets, not the residents, the board. But we can't see these. Why are you keeping them secret? Look at all of this information that's being kept from the residents. What are you afraid of? What don't you want the residents to see? This is a RFP. Okay? It just goes on and on and on. And I just wanted to point that out. I think I deserve a mocha too. Thank you very much, Tracy. But that's what the board receives, okay? You can't make it up. It's in black and white. You know, and so why can't the residents see it? Why can't the public see it? You know, why? It's just a question that I have to ask over and over and over and over and over again. But every time I ask, I'm a Tiffany supporter. Why? Because I want the truth? Because I want proof? Tiffany Henyard is never going to give you proof of anything. But does that make it void that the trustees are also allowed to give you nothing? Potato. I want the ones that have been voted and passed. That is where all the good stuff will shine light. And Potato, we have a special person looking into those ordinances. Oh, yes. All of the ordinances. Because apparently Tiffany has broken ordinances, but has anybody said which ones? Pluto, so good to see you. So good to see you. I love it when I see Blue Doe. Oh, yeah. He was in the newspaper, wasn't he? Oops. Which one was in federal prison? Do you remember, Blue Doe? Yeah, good luck for you, Potato. Oh, God. What is wrong? You have a deputy clerk now, and still nothing is being put up on the website, High Society Management was paid $3,500 for a website design. Was it for the Village of Dalton? Because if it was, you have failed miserably. Because nobody can get any meeting minutes. Nobody can get any ordinances. Are you going to wait until after the election to do your job? Because you promised at a board meeting that they would be up so the public could see. and they're not. And that's the problem I have with all elected officials, because they all lie. Sorry. Okay, like it, don't like it. No, I don't know. Oh, sorry, Blue Doe. Yeah. Is somebody in federal prison for that, Blue Doe? Because I ran an article on that. Okay. Shall we get the flock out of here? I think we should. Okay, remember to check in with Reality Check TV Chicago tonight. He is absolutely wonderful. I hope I'm going to be there if I don't fall asleep first. Okay, like, subscribe, and all the other stuff that you're supposed to do. I don't know. Okay, love every one of you, and thank you. Bye-bye.